Now, First Alert 6 weather.
Good morning, everybody. We are looking at a busy start to our commute as we have several crashes to tell you about here in the early going. And let's go ahead and get right into what we're seeing out there. That includes a crash. Hold on here. Let me get that routed correctly here. There we go. Crash on I-480 northbound right around Leavenworth. And we are looking at some pretty decent delays that are showing up as a result of this. Let me show you the Nebraska DOT camera that is in place in this area and give you the look at what we've got going on. There it is. It's over on the right-hand side. And it is involving, looks like 3 vehicles there. You do have the right lane blocked. So you need to stay left as you're heading through that stretch of 480 right near Leavenworth. Be ready for those delays that I mentioned that we have as a result of that crash. Let you watch this here for just a little bit. So again, you're watching a crash on 480 northbound. This is as you are getting right near Leavenworth. You can see the right lane is blocked. Make sure you're staying left as these drivers are doing and giving those emergency crews some room to work. Now, unfortunately, this is not the only crash that we have this morning. We also have a crash that's in place as you're making your way along the northbound JFK. And here is where this one is. It's right along the area near Chandler. Now, this is actually just off of the road that we're looking at this one being in place. I will pull up this camera for you as well here in just a moment. But you can see how things are a little bit slow as you're heading right through that stretch of the JFK. And so as we get that Nebraska DOT camera shot pulled up, you'll notice it's in the distance where you have the flashing lights that are showing up. And let me take that full for you. So there is the view, and you can see it's still a little slow as you're approaching that area, but where this crash is, if you're wondering, it's right around here. If you look closely, there's some flashing lights showing up there on the left-hand side. That's where this crash is. So we're on the left shoulder, but you are getting traffic slowing down some as you head into that stretch. I'll let you watch this one for a little while now as well. So if you're just joining in, this is the JFK northbound as you are approaching the Chandler area where there is a crash on the left shoulder. You see the flashing lights there in the circled area. Traffic a little slow as you are making your way through this stretch. I do want to show you the overall view of how the commute is going throughout the metro. It's a couple of crashes that we've highlighted there on the JFK and I-480 that are impacting traffic the most, but we do have a few other delays that you need to know about. You zoom in here, you can see that we've got some of our areas that typically start to slow down showing those delays. That includes right around Dodge near 90th back toward 680, the 680 ramp to get to westbound Dodge, also with some delays. And then you're also looking at Center Street, right around that split near Industrial with some delays. But really what stands out the most is what you have going on with our two crashes. JFK a little slow as you're heading past that one on the left shoulder near Chandler, but it's particularly 480 northbound where things are really having some issues. That is the crash that first alerted you to near Leavenworth. There it is. And this is blocking the right lane. So once again, I'll work on getting that view pulled up for you. And we will check out the latest with what is developing there on 480 with that crash. Just waiting for the camera to load here. Okay. There we go. So, camera having some, looks like some bandwidth issues on that camera. Let's try a different camera. We'll show you what maybe some of the backups look like as you're approaching that area. We'll check in on this one that is closer to Martha Street. So a little further to the south as you're making your way northbound. And you'll likely see traffic being slowed. Yes. All right. Here we go. This is a better view. Just wait for the camera to load here once again. Okay, here we go. So what you're looking at is northbound travel on 480 as you're approaching that crash that is near Leavenworth. And a lot of brake lights, things kind of grinding to a halt as people head into that area, people realizing that they need to merge left. And so you are seeing things struggle quite a bit. And this is right at the Martha exit. So we'll watch this and kind of give you an idea of how things are moving, what you should expect if you're about to head into this area. So again, if you're just joining in, this is the live view of the lead up to a crash. This is on 480 as you're heading northbound, approaching Leavenworth. This is the view from Martha Street. So as you're going away from the camera, you are getting closer to the crash. So you can see all of the brake lights, things kind of stacking up on 480 as people try to head toward downtown, realize that they need to merge left, and then the backups that ensue as people try to get through that lane restriction with that crash. We'll return to this view here in just a moment. I do want to give you an idea of how the rest of the map is looking through the area. We do have a different crash that I've been watching. This is the JFK northbound around Chandler. This is on the left shoulder, so traffic not being impacted as greatly, but you do have some delays that are in place. You need to watch for that as you're heading through that stretch. Give those crews some room to work there on the left shoulder. Really, those are kind of our biggest problems right now. You look at the overall map, we've got a few other delays that have shown up on 204th that usually shows up between Gretna and Elkhorn. You've also got a couple spots there, Millard Avenue near 144th. with some heavier traffic. I zoom in a little bit tighter here. You will see that Q Street is a little slow through Millard, but nothing that is a major problem. And then 84th with a few slowdowns as well through La Vista and Ralston with some of that construction. But it's really all about the impacts from this 480 crash. And I was a little afraid this might start happening. We're now starting to see ripple effects onto the JFK as people try to make their way toward 480 and traffic continues to spill backward. So let me show you what that's looking like in that area as you are making your way toward I-80 on the JFK. We were just checking out the view on 480 around Martha. So let's go a little further to the south and check out some of the delays that are now building as you continue to try to make your way northbound. This is really going to slam the commute to a grind as you're heading northbound. I will say, if you're looking for an alternate route, you can use 13th Street. While I wait for this camera to load, you can use 13th Street as an alternate route to make your way northbound. That moving along really well. I will caution, as you get toward Pacific Street, there is some construction that results in some lane restrictions. So that may slow you down a little bit in that immediate vicinity near Pacific, but most of that drive will be a lot quicker than what you have going on right now on 480. All right, just working on finding a camera here that shows those delays on the JFK. Now, this is not related to the crash near Chandler. That's a separate issue causing delays, but you could... Okay, this one should show what we've got going on near I-80, so let me pull this one up. Camera's a little slow to load this morning. Okay, here we go. Looks like we're starting to load this one. Oh, it just went back down again. All right, well, since that camera's having issues, we'll go back to where the crash is and give you an idea of what's causing all of these problems. This is right around Leavenworth. You're heading northbound. This is the culprit of our delays this morning. It's that crash there that you see over on the left. That is actually on the right shoulder as you're heading northbound on 480, right around the Leavenworth area. Now, the right lane is blocked off. You can see a little bit of some debris there and emergency crews that continue to work that scene. So that's the reason we have our issues, is because we have that right lane blocked. So everyone is merging to the left. You need to be ready for delays as you head through that stretch. It's just the fact that we are also getting building delays as a result of that crash. Pull up the map here. So there's where our crash is. And as I zoom out, oh, look at the red that's showing up there. So that's starting to now impact traffic as you're trying to make your way from I-80 on the ramp to go north to 480. So we're starting to get some spillage of delays there. And then also on the JFK, you've got some delays as well as you're approaching I-80. Now, don't forget, you also have a separate crash that's in place, Chandler, on the left shoulder as you're going northbound on the JFK. That's where you're looking at some of that orange there. Near the south part of that orange is where that crash is. But domino effect. A lot of times we get these crashes, we get things continuing to develop. I am going to show you this view of the crash once more, though. It looks like we did just open up the lane there on the right-hand side. So that lane now open. We still have the right shoulder blocked with those vehicles, so use some caution there. We'll see if opening that right lane results in maybe getting some smoother travel through this stretch. All right, I think we'll do one more check of the overall commute, getting near the time where we wrap up our streams. And you could see that most of the commute's issues are tied to that stretch on 480 and the JFK, where we've had a couple of crashes. Again, we just opened that right lane. that was in place as you were heading northbound near Leavenworth. So that should hopefully help some of those delays that are in place in that stretch. The JFK, you've got a crash as you head on the northbound JFK on the left shoulder near Chandler. Otherwise, a couple of slowdowns that are showing up. 168th near Dodge, eastbound, nothing too unusual there. And a lot of our other issues are just the result of things slowing down due to heavy traffic. But I think with that, we'll wrap up our live stream. Appreciate you joining in. Watch for some of those delays if you're about to head 480 or JFK as a result of those crashes. I'll have more updates on those here in just about 4 minutes on First Alert 6. And you can always get all the latest commute updates on firstalert6.com on our traffic blog. Appreciate you joining in. Enjoy the nice weather this afternoon. Have a great Thursday.